Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 411 of our trek, and today is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along life's trails, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom that are found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we will explore the second half of chapter 16. We are broadcasting from our studios at Home 2 in Charlotte, North Carolina. We returned from Arizona on a red-eye flight very early Monday, and then we drove from Atlanta to Charlotte, arriving back early afternoon. We did have a productive and encouraging few days, finalizing some needed company forms, reviewing the progress on the major construction progress, and then setting some processes in place to move forward more efficiently. There is a lot of potential for good projects in the Phoenix area over the next few years. It will require a significant amount of patience, planning, and perseverance on our part as we plant the seeds and then wait to see the harvest that God brings to fruition. It also requires a lot of vision, wisdom, and insight to handle the details for the various companies that we work with and incorporating our podcasting projects into the mix. But I do take comfort in going to the source of wisdom for business and all of life in God's Word, and specifically to the book of Proverbs. On our trek for today, we will dig into the verses 17 through 33 of chapter 16, and the title for today's trek is taken from verse 32, and it is, Better to be patient than powerful. So let's start in with verse 17. The path of the virtuous leads away from evil. Whoever follows this path is safe. Your life is a trek, and you choose the path that you will take. If you take the path of virtue and integrity, it will lead you away from that which is harmful and evil, and provide you a safe trail for your life. If you choose the opposite, though, you will find yourself on a path that is not good or safe. Verse 18, Pride goes before destruction and haughtiness before a fall. Now this is a very familiar verse to most of us, and I realize that pride is at the heart of nearly all the wrong choices that we make in our life. It may be disguised as something else, but inherently, pride is at the core. When you allow pride to take over in your life, it will lead to your destruction and ultimate downfall. Each day, all of us must work toward becoming more humble and putting aside this pride. Verse 19, Better to live humbly with the poor than to share plunder with the proud. Now, somewhat connected to the previous verse, we see that Solomon proclaims that it is better to be humble, even if it does not provide you with financial prosperity. If you become wealthy and have a spirit of pride in obtaining that wealth, then it does not bring you any lasting value. Verse number 20, Those who listen to instruction will prosper, and those who trust in the Lord will be joyful. One of the best ways to gain financial freedom and prosper is being open to the instruction of those who have already obtained wealth. Listening to the wise advice of others is not limited to financial gain, but also to being prosperous in all areas of life. Even if you are successful in obtaining wealth, realize that that wealth will never provide you joy in your life. The only way to obtain and have growing joy in your life is to trust that God is in control. He will provide for all of your needs. Verse 21, The wise are known for their understanding, and pleasant words are persuasive. If a person is wise, it will be evident to everyone they come in contact with, because they will exude a spirit of understanding. The same person has learned and understands that pleasant words are much more persuasive than harsh and negative commands. Verse number 22, Discretion is the life-giving fountain to those who possess it, but discipline is wasted on fools. A person of discretion knows when to speak and when not to. They also know what to say and what not to say. This type of person is refreshing to be around. It is like a cold fountain in a hot and dry desert. The opposite of this person is one who is unwilling or unable to accept discipline and correction. Attempting to disciple a foolish person is a waste of time and energy. Verse number 23, From a wise man comes wise speech. The words of the wise are persuasive. This is similar to verse 21. A person who is wise based on a wise mind will also be wise in their speech. This person's word will radiate wisdom, and their speech will be very persuasive. Verse 24, Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. Kind words are easy to share with everyone, and they do not cost you anything. It provides strength and health to those who you are kind towards. The analogy is that this kindness is as beneficial to the soul as God's natural sweetener, honey, is to the body. Verse number 25, There's a path before each person that seems right, but it ends in death. Now, when we choose our own path for life, it may seem like we're on the right path, but if it leads in ways that are contrary to God's precepts and commands, then it will ultimately lead to our destruction and death. Verse number 26, It is good for workers to have an appetite, An empty stomach drives them on. In any occupation, the best workers are those with passion, need, and purpose for what they are doing. This appetite creates a desire to do well because they are hungry for results. Verse number 27, scoundrels create trouble. Their words are a destructive blaze. Individuals who lack personal integrity and concern for others are proud and selfish. Because of this, they are always creating trouble for others. They will leave a path of carnage wherever they go. Verse number 28, a troublemaker plants seeds of strife, and gossip separates the best of friends. We have often referred to the law of planting and harvesting, and in this verse, we see that it is the troublemaker that plants the seeds of strife. And one of the primary ways that this occurs is through the spreading of gossip. Gossip will separate friendships and cause factions. This will result in broken relationships. Verse number 29, violent people mislead their companions, leading them down a harmful path. Individuals who are selfish and prideful are also deceptive, and their actions are violent toward others. If you are a friend and companion to this type of person, you will easily be misled into activities that are harmful. We all need to be careful not to associate too closely with this type of person. Verse number 30. With narrowed eyes, people plot evil. With a smirk, they plan their mischief. Now, you can tell a lot about a person by observing them, even their facial expressions. There are certain character traits that are hard to hide from your facial expressions. This verse refers to two of those, the narrowed eyes and the smirk. Both are indications of plotting evil and planning mischief. Now, if they're used together, it is a double indication that this person is one that you need to be careful of. Verse number 31. Gray hair is a crown of glory. It is gained by living a godly life. While this verse is not implying that everyone with gray hair has lived a godly life, it does indicate that those who live long lives usually make wise and prudent choices in their lives. Gray hair is a sign of honor. It indicates that a person understands how important it is to take care of themselves physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. As a person grows older, they are more likely to realize that God is in control of all things. Unless God allows a person to die at a younger age, those individuals who follow God's words throughout their lives will be more likely to grow older and also live a godly life. Verse number 32. Better to be patient than powerful. Better to have self-control than to conquer a city. Now, when we think of a patient person, most of us will not equate this person with also being powerful. Now, there is a direct correlation between how patient a person is and how truly powerful they are. It takes great self-control and power to show restraint and patience in life. Patience and self-control go hand in hand. The patient person will display a great deal of self-control. They realize that this is where the seeds of true power resides. If you do plant seeds of patience on a daily basis, you will reap a harvest of self-control, which is truly powerful. And verse number 33. You may throw the dice, but the Lord determines how they fall. You can take chances in your life, or you can make detailed, structured plans. But God will ultimately decide the fate for each of us, according to His will and His purpose for our lives. And this verse does not imply that we should not make plans or occasionally take some chances, as both have their place in certain situations. In fact, in many verses within God's Word, we are encouraged to make plans and prepare. There are also times where we need to take chances without all the details. And in either way, we need to follow God's precepts and instructions and then trust God to determine and then show us the path to take. The nuggets of wisdom that we've gathered in these 17 verses of Proverbs chapter 16 provide the stepping stones that we need for our daily trek to grow emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Making plans based on God's guidelines will keep everything in a proper perspective on what really is important and will allow us to grow wiser each day. Tomorrow we will hike another short trail of Wisdom Unplugged, where we will discover an inspirational wisdom quote. So encourage your family and friends to join us, and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today, and just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com, and I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, Let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.